Hi, my name is David Wilburn. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about mistakes that people can make on their job and why sometimes we see people in management treating those mistakes as though they're serious or systemic errors. Now, some of you may be familiar with the movie Office Space. In that movie, there's a scene early in the movie in which the main character, Peter, forgot to put a cover sheet on his TPS report. Now, this is one of the most funny scenes in the movie. It's always referenced. The idea behind the scene is that it just shows some of the mind-numbing things that take place, in your typical work location. There's a certain report that Peter has to turn in, and the company has decided that there'll be a new cover sheet placed whenever this report is turned in. Peter didn't do that, and so he's visited by several people first thing in the morning to talk about why he didn't place the cover sheet on his TPS report. So when the one manager comes and starts talking to him about it, he asks him, didn't you know that we have a new policy about the cover sheets on the TPS report? Peter tells him, yeah, I knew, I just forgot. It was a simple mistake. As a matter of fact, I've got the cover sheet, right here. I understand. Manager goes on to reiterate, yeah, we put out a memo explaining that there would be new cover sheets on the TPS report. Peter, once again, I got the memo's right here. He's holding it in his hand. The manager, once again, reiterates. It's that we're putting the new cover sheets on the TPS reports. So make sure you do that in the future. And I'm going to make sure you get another copy of the memo. As if having two copies of the memo will make him put the cover sheets on the TPS report. Well, what's actually going on here, as outlandish as it sounds, is something that I've seen numerous times within organizations that I've worked for, as well as in consulting jobs. Whereas an employee makes a mistake and management intervenes in that mistake as if the error is a systemic error. And there can be several reasons why this can happen. One reason is a little bit of paranoia on the part of managers, feeling that if I don't intervene in this situation, this may become a rampant or runaway problem. I better, get to it, kill it before it grows, so to speak. Another reason that we see managers behave this way is because they're trying to essentially justify their existence. If we see another character in Office Space who it's a little confusing what he actually does within the organization. And when the consultants come into the organization and begin making recommendations for who should be retained and who should be let go, he's terrified because he recognizes that his job function is kind of redundant. Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of people in management who feel this same way. They feel that not only is it possible that their job function is a little bit redundant, but they also feel that they're going to be negatively evaluated if they don't intervene in every single little mistake that any employee that they supervise makes. So they're going to literally pay attention and micromanage their employees in every little situation. In my role at a higher education institution as director of compliance, I was responsible for overseeing regulatory compliance on that campus. So I would periodically conduct audits of the processes within various departments, talk to employees, take a look at the processes, and make recommendations for improvements. Or if we found that there were problems in the processes, work with each department manager to make a corrective action plan. But I can tell you that it was very important for me in that role to ignore minute individual mistakes that were made. Wouldn't be concerned about Peter not attaching a cover sheet on that particular TPS report. Even if the following week Peter didn't attach a cover sheet on the TPS report, I wouldn't necessarily be concerned about that. Now, it's possible that the third week, I would start to ask the question, is this a systemic error? Is there some factor preventing Peter from putting the cover sheet on his TPS report? Or is it possible that there's some process that he doesn't understand that causes him to not do it? I would also be on the lookout for a situation in which maybe Peter isn't the only employee in that department that isn't placing the cover sheet on the TPS report. Those things would be indicators that we have a true systemic error, not just an employee mistake. So I hope this information has been a little bit useful about mistakes versus systemic errors in the workplace. Thank you. Have a good day.